Yet another attack in Dublin today. Multiple people injured, many people being taken to hospital. Police on the scene. Residents in an area of Dublin told to stay indoors while a threat was neutralised. A man has been arrested and has been taken to a police station for questioning. The sad thing about this is, if you actually look up on any search engine, Dublin attack, Dublin stabbing, Dublin whatever, there's a list comes up. You have to siphon through these multiple attacks before you get to the story that you actually want to see. So details in this one are still coming in, but there's some important facts have been released that cause a lot of concern as far as I'm concerned. And the question that many people are asking is, well, how did this come about? Who's the perpetrator? Could anything have been done to stop it? What was used in the attack? So we're going to have a look at that right now. So, like I said, details on this are still coming through. But what do we know, or what have we found out so far? So, man arrested, 3 people hospitalised after being stabbed in an attack in Stoneybatter area of Dublin. Gardaí apprehend a suspect on Manor Place. Now, as I go through this article in particular, it's going to become clear that this wasn't just a one-off incident happening in one place. This was multiple people attacked in multiple locations before this person was actually arrested. The scene on Oxman Town Road in the Stoneybatter area of Dublin on Sunday afternoon after stabbing attack which left 3 people in hospital. And this is being reported in the Irish Times. So I'm just relaying this as I'm seeing it here today. This was a concise article. Gardaí and emergency services at the scene in Oxman Town Road, just off the North Circular Road on Sunday afternoon. It's understood the suspect stabbed the victims using regular household implements. And in the UK at the minute, Yvette Cooper, the crazy Home Secretary in the British government, is talking about removing points, the tips, the pointy tips of kitchen knives, because she believes that might result in less people being hurt or injured in any so-called knife attacks. Well, here we have here, and it doesn't say what they are, but the suspect stabbed the victims using regular household implements. It doesn't matter what you ban. It doesn't matter what you outlaw. If somebody wants to attack you, if somebody wants to find a way, they will find a way. You could do it with a pen. You could do it with a little pair of scissors. You could do it with a sharp stick or a branch off a tree if you really wanted to. But this guy, I'm assuming it's a man. They haven't released the details yet, or maybe they have actually. My apologies. Sources say the Gardaí have no reason to suspect the attacks were linked to terrorism. Well, I don't know about you, but if I have been attacked in and around my home, or my family has been attacked in and around my home, you don't start categorizing the attack. Was it terrorism? Was it not? Was it racially motivated? Was it not? Was it a hate crime? Was it not? The way I see it is, if someone comes at you or your family members with a weapon, or even without a weapon to cause them harm, the motivation behind that is neither here nor there. The fact is, there's some people out there that are hell-bent on causing death, destruction, and mayhem, and they seem to be getting away with it because it's happening over and over and over again. So, no reason to suspect the attacks were linked to terrorism, using regular household implements. The scene of one of the attacks, okay, local residents were told to go indoors shortly before 3 p.m. on Sunday, after emergency services were called to Oxman Town Road and Niles Street in Dublin 7, following a reported stabbing in the area. So when the emergency services appeared, it would appear that the threat was not neutralised at that point because people were still told to go indoors. The scene was not secure. The threat had not been neutralised. A suspect was subsequently apprehended nearby on Manor Place. So we have Oxman Town Road, we have Niles Street, and now we have Manor Place where the suspect was actually apprehended. So that's at least 3 streets or 3 separate locations that this attacker was active in, or seen in, or moving in, where he could have had multiple other potential victims. So the suspect was subsequently apprehended nearby on Manor Place after Gardaí search. It's understood he had his face covered when the guards arrested him. Interesting. In a statement, the guards or the Gardaí confirmed a man has been arrested in relation to the incident. There is no ongoing risk to the public at this time, the statement said. Really? No ongoing risk to the public? Will the public keep getting stabbed? It doesn't seem to matter if you arrest the people that are guilty of the crimes. There still seems to be a queue of people lining up to commit these crimes. So to say there's no ongoing risk to the public at this time, maybe in relation to that one particular area of Dublin, but this is happening all across Ireland, and it's happening more frequently. Mary Lou came out with a statement. Terrible news from Stoneybatter this afternoon. My thoughts are with those injured and their families. The community is in a state of shock. Really? I don't have any confirmed details on the suspect at this time, but let's just say there are reports coming in that there's a great possibility that this attack could have been prevented. Great possibility, but nothing confirmed. The Guardian and emergency services are to be commended for their response. The sad thing about this is, Mary Lou, that the guards in some cases and the emergency services in some cases are clearing up messes, horrible messes, people's lives being taken, people being injured and mutilated and wounded. They're out there in the front lines clearing up messes that have been made because of politicians like her. She can sit back and tell us how her thoughts are with certain people and commend the emergency services, and fair play to them. That's not a job I would have wanted to have to do on a Sunday afternoon, to apprehend some maniac who'd just been on the rampage across Dublin, multiple streets, attacking people. Or the emergency services, when they arrived, having to treat those people. Guards suggest that another suspect, here we go, another one, maybe at large. So we're told that there's no ongoing risk to the public at this time from the stabber or the attacker, but there may be another suspect at large. Maybe doesn't cut it. If you're living in that area and you can't leave your house because you don't have an assurance from Angorda Síochána, the guardians of the peace, that you can leave your house in safety, what kind of life is that to live? And again, it goes on to say the stabbings happened across 3 Dublin 7 locations: North Circular Road, Oxman Town Road, and actually Ben Adair Road. So he was actually apprehended in a 4th location that doesn't seem to be a site of one of the attacks. So what does all this mean? Well, it means we're living in a hellish age at this point in time. There'll always be knife crime. There always has been knife crime. There always will be knife crime for as long as there's maniacs out there that have access to knives or other sharp implements that want to do other people harm. That can never be stopped or eradicated outright. But the question has to be asked, who's doing the majority of the attacks? Who's perpetrating the majority of the attacks? Do we know who the people are? Have we done anything to curtail their activities, or even better still, to prevent those activities from ever having happened in the first place? And if the answer to that's no, not everything was done that could have been done, well, then the blood of those victims are on the hands of the Irish government, or the British government, or the French government, or the German government, or the Australian government. Whichever government. The government has a duty to protect its people as much as it can, as far as it can. So the question is asked, and I'm sure more details in this one will be coming out sooner rather than later. Is this something that could have been preventable? Like many, many other incidents of this type that are becoming more and more frequent and more prevalent, and we're hearing more and more about. So what do you think? Is it getting out of hand, or are they just simply reporting about it more at this time, passing the buck to say, well, it's always been bad, you're just hearing more reports at this time? Leave me your thoughts, comments, opinions, suggestions. If you like the video, like it. If you don't like the video, like it. If you hate the content, share it. If you love the content, share it. But tune back. Tomorrow, I'll be back for more. Got a lot of good guests lined up next week. People on the ground telling it how it is. This is Rick Munn, No Risk, No Reward Media, over and out.